All right, Jerry, thanks for meeting with me.
Yeah, no problem. It's finally get to meet you, Jimmy John. It's been nice. And how have you been doing?
Been doing well, yeah. Yeah, excited to have you here with the company. Wanted to, finally get to go out to lunch with you, get a little break from the office. But go ahead and tell me about how you're feeling here in your new role working for us, doing sales.
Yeah, I mean it's been okay.
Mm-hmm.
I'll have to admit, it hasn't been super great. I've just been, feeling like the people that I'm working with don't don't believe what I believe. They don't
Mm-hmm.
really feel the same about customer service, about the customer. Than they care more about the numbers, and I feel like I'm more
Mm-hmm.
into the customer service side of things, and so
Okay.
kind of takes a hit a little bit on
Yeah.
the workplace environment. But it's not like they're doing anything bad. It's just they just don't do the same stuff as me. So
Oh, okay, I got you.
yeah.
So just a little bit different, strategy there. Tell me a little bit more about why you feel like that customer service aspect is important to you in your selling.
Yeah, I mean, for me, like I've always been, really close to my customers. I've always been able to, excel with customer service, and so feel like that's like the main thing that I like to focus on. And so there's there's just nothing that I don't know. I just don't like focusing too much on the money aspect of the
Mm-hmm.
sale. I know that most, that's like the biggest thing for some salesmen, but I feel like for me, it's really helping the customer out and
Mm-hmm.
getting them what they want versus forcing anything on them.
Right.
And so that's kind of where I'm coming at, where I'm coming from.
Okay. Well, Jerry, I think that's awesome that you care so much about the customer and that you want them to, believe in what they're getting and feel comfortable because, I feel like everything else falls after that. If you take care of the customer, they're going to keep coming back. And, that's actually funny that you mentioned that. That's one thing I've been reading recently. There's an article I've been reading on HubSpot, and it talks about how if the customer has a great experience, they're going to come back again and again. Tell me a little bit about how the rest of your sales calls is going. So it sounds like you're really strong in building the customer rapport and servicing them. How are you feeling with going in and like closing the sale?
I feel like when I'm talking to the customer and I get to a point where I feel like I feel comfortable in asking them. I'll close the sale if I have something that they need.
Mm-hmm.
If they need something that I don't have, it's just no point in talking to them. And
Mm-hmm.
it's a good relationship, good friendship, but there's no point of like selling
Mm-hmm.
on anything. And so that's kind of where I'm at with that.
Yeah. And what are some of the ways that you're seeking to find out what your customers' needs are?
Um, I let's see. I try to ask questions. I don't ask questions all the time because we don't get to that point, and sometimes we just get to the trying to get to know them, trying to just see what they do to kind of pinpoint maybe some things that they might need.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't like guessing, and so if it comes to that, I just ask questions.
Okay, gotcha. Well, yeah, I mean, I think it's awesome that you want to solve customers' needs from what I've heard, and I think questions is a great way to do that. How do you think you could maybe ask some questions to your customers about what they need and use that to help you sell our product to them that gives them a great solution?
Um, so how can I ask? I you saying what questions or how can I ask questions?
Yeah, like what questions do you think you could ask, or how do you think that could benefit them? Finding out what their needs are a little bit deeper.
I mean, obviously that kind of helps them, or I guess it helps me and also helps them at the same time to see, yeah, I actually do need this certain product, or maybe I can ask questions to dive deeper into maybe something that they don't feel like they need, but I can help them realize that they could possibly need it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, I don't know. I mean, just asking the right questions and um,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, I love actually your approach as far as wanting to meet the customer's needs, and our product is something that can really help the customer's needs if we know what that need is. And I understand your hesitation of not wanting to just sell them for the money, right?
Yeah.
But something that I was, back to this article I was talking about, I'd love to send it over to you. It talks about something called the Challenger sale. It's a very consultative approach where, the purpose of it is you build, not just a relationship with this customer, but you figure out what they need, and then you consult with them with creative solutions of how our product is going to meet the need that they have. Would that be something that would be satisfying to you, and why or why not?
I mean, I don't know. I mean, I've never read it, and I think knowledge is knowledge, and so I think that there's no reason to be opposed to reading an article.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. Do you think that if you could solve your customers' needs and solving that need was done through, showing them our product and them receiving it, is that something that would be, motivating to you?
Um, I mean, obviously, if it's helping the customer out, definitely, I would agree that showing them what they need definitely is a good thing, and it definitely is
Hmm.
something I want to do.
Yeah. And, I think this is going to be something that as you read it, you'll kind of see how this fits you because, like you said, it really is about, building a relationship with the customer and meeting their needs. So I'd love to send this article over to you. And then I want you to, email me or ask me any questions that you have about it. But go ahead and give this approach a try for the next week, and then we can come back and kind of see how it's going. How does that sound?
Yeah, that sounds good. I can definitely do that, and hopefully, maybe it'll help. I don't know. I feel like I'm doing okay, but maybe it'll help me out a little bit.
Okay, sounds good.
All right.
Thanks.
Awesome. Thank you.
All right.
All right. All right. How's it going, Vicky?
Good. How you doing?
Doing pretty good today. How have things been the past few days for you?
Things have been going good. I feel like I'm really getting after it. I'm really working hard. I'm excited to be here. It's a challenge for sure. So, but yeah, I'm excited to do my best.
That's awesome. How have things been with your personal life, with things at home? How have everything been going good?
Yeah, everything's going good at home. Yeah, no issues there.
Sweet. That's good to hear. That's good. I'm glad. You mentioned that it's definitely a difficult thing working for having this specific job. Why do you think it's difficult for you?
It's different than my last company that I worked for. I wouldn't say it's too difficult. It's different, and I just kind of need to, figure out the kind of style here, I guess, or whatever. But I know I've been a top performer everywhere else, and I can be a top performer here.
That's awesome to hear. That's super cool. How do you think you can be the top performer here? How do you think that you can get there? I know you're doubling everyone else's cold calls every day. You're doing fantastic with the cold calls, and you're doing so many. How do you think you can be the top seller here?
Yeah, just super aggressive. Just going after people, telling them that I got what they need. Kind of being really, really direct and really bold with people. And if they want the product, then they take it. And if not, then I leave them and I go on to the next person.
Yeah. And how has it been going? How has that approach been for you?
I mean, I feel like my numbers are pretty good. I feel like if I keep working on it in time, then I will get to the numbers that I want. I will say I've been frustrated because the success hasn't been coming quite as quick as I want. But, I think I just need to, keep calling more people. And if, I put in more time, more hours, more calls, and just kind of, maybe fine tune a couple things, and I'll be good to go.
Yeah, and it's interesting. It's so true. There's a lot of different aspects of working hard and having that ethic. And like I mentioned before, you've literally been doubling everyone else's calls. I mean, you've been doing so many.
Mm-hmm.
And I noticed that you have an 8% conversion right now.
Mm-hmm.
And you mentioned that you want to get there. You want to have that success, and you want to be the top performer.
Mm-hmm.
Why do you think everyone else has, or I guess a few more people will have a higher conversion with like half as many calls? Like how do you think that's possible?
Hmm. I don't know. I wasn't really aware that was going on, but maybe I don't know, it could just be experience. Maybe they're doing something I don't know about. I don't know. Do you know what it is?
It could be so many things. I don't know if you've heard of your coworkers or seen them do a certain thing that they do during the calls. I think clearly there's always room for improvement, right? I mean, everyone has that. Um, I mean, do you think it'd be beneficial for you to meet or to shadow some of the salesmen that are around you to see maybe what things they do to be a top performer, kind of like what you want to, like your goal?
Yeah, I mean, I'd be happy to shadow them if you think that would help. And yeah, maybe I could see if there's something they're doing that I'm not doing.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want you to do something clearly that you don't want to do. I mean, would you actually want to do that, or do you think there's other ways we can get you to that success that you want?
No, I'd be happy to do that. I just, maybe they're doing something that's more aggressive than me, or I don't know. Yeah, I'd have to want. Yeah, I want to see what they're doing because, I want to be better than them. Like, nothing personal with them, but I want to be better.
Yeah, everyone wants to be better than the person like above them, because you said at your other jobs you were the top performer, right?
Mm-hmm.
How did you become the top performer at those jobs?
Honestly, doing similar things. Like I, received coaching, and they would tell me, new ways to be aggressive or to do this or to do that, and I would try them on the phones. And at first, maybe it made me a little uncomfortable, being so aggressive and like kind of felt like I was in people's faces. But with that type of short-term sale, we needed them to make a decision really quick, and so that helped me to be able to do that.
Yeah, it's interesting that you said that at first. You felt like it was too aggressive, or you felt like uncomfortable doing it.
Mm-hmm.
Why do you feel like you were uncomfortable? Do you feel like that approach was like a normal thing for people to converse? Like, was that normal for you?
No, I mean, but that's part of it, right? We're trying to kind of like manipulate them into the sale. So, but yeah, I mean, that's definitely not normal. Like, like in a day-to-day conversation, I would never want to manipulate somebody, but like that's sales, baby, right? Like we go in there and we go hard on them and we try and get them to make a split-second decision to go with us.
Yeah. If you would say, so if that conversation with those people was flipped, would you want to be the person at the end of the call?
Oh no, I'm very wary of salesmen. I know how I am. I don't want to be, on the opposite end of me.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, if you wouldn't want to be that person on the opposite end, wouldn't you think you'd want to kind of to be that person, or to change and make it so you can converse with that person on the other end of the phone call and make it feel so it's not awkward, or make it feel like it's comfortable?
Yeah, I think in an ideal world, but I mean, that's kind of what I thought sales was, is, you're really persuasive and you kind of influence them. I don't want to say like I've said manipulate, and it kind of sounds like a dirty word, but it's kind of what we do, right? That's what I don't know. That's just what I've been taught from like other managers that I've had.
Yeah, and that's something that a lot of people have the stereotype of having that kind of that sales background. They feel that way about that sale, but I mean, if you think that that's a way that it's kind of awkward, or it doesn't feel right in that kind of sense, I mean, even though that's how it's always been with, or from like the past, or things that you've seen, wouldn't you want to change that? Wouldn't you want to make it so it's not so it's more chill, more comfortable?
Yeah, but I want to make sales. I don't know. Is there like another way that like is effective? Because like when I was at those other jobs, I was super aggressive. That's what got me those sales.
Yeah, and of course, every single every company will say certain things, or say different or have different tactics to manage their salesmen. Mm-hmm. And that's why I think having you shadow other people around here, I think they have a good grasp on how to kind of converse with the people and get the sale. Because you mentioned you want to be a top performer. Like that's what you want. That's your goal, right? And so to get there, do you think shadowing others and seeing their way of trying to make the sale without being super aggressive, would you think that you'd be willing to do that? I know you already mentioned that you would, but like, I mean, I want you to see that there's other ways. There's so many different ways and different tactics to sell. And so if you're willing to do that, we can meet back. So tomorrow I can have a schedule to meet with certain people that I think that do it a really good way and have really high conversion rates. Mm-hmm. And then they can show you and tell you how they do it to get the sale. Would you be willing to do that?
Yeah, I'm definitely willing to do that.
Awesome. Yeah, so I'll have you do that, and then we'll meet the next day, the following day, and then we can kind of go over what you learned and see if you'd be willing to maybe change a couple of things and see how that works out for you.
Okay, yeah, sounds good.
All right, Vicky, I appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.